ones left are the president, the vice president, and the attorney general. All the others are no longer there. The president takes on the role of all the other portfolios. So in other words, he is the de facto Minister of Home Affairs. So everything that has been done these past few weeks and these past few days by the police fall under his watch. He is responsible for them. The reason why, upon Parliament being dissolved, he is allowed to stay in government power, and he is allowed to have state facilities such as planes, helicopters, and state vehicles, is for him to be able to maintain peace in the country and to defend the people of Zambia. He is given those facilities not for him to fly around to constituencies such as Mazabuka or Mwandi in order to pick up fights with parliamentary candidates. He is given those facilities so that he protects the lives of each and every Zambian who is in this country. We have seen instead that our delegations, our rallies are disrupted by UPND cadres in full sight and view of the police. And the police do nothing at all. Even when the names and faces of those who are doing the attacks are very clear for everybody to see. Minister of Home Affairs, we ask you, why are you not protecting the Zambian people? Today, we were having a rally here in Mundu, and without any sort of disturbance by the people attending the rally, all of a sudden, the police started firing tear gas canisters and disrupted the whole rally. From where I was standing, I could see some mothers with babies on their backs. I saw one whose child was certainly being affected terribly by the tear gas. And she was in tears and trying to attend to her child. I don't know whether those tears were from tear gas or whether they were from fear of what was happening to her child. That is not the Zambia that we want. That is not the Zambia we deserve. The president has failed us as a nation, where you have babies being tear gassed. Surely the Zambian people must hold him to account for that. I have participated since 1991 in 9 elections since 1991. I have never ever seen elections being conducted by the government in the manner in which this government is dealing with these elections, where the ruling party cadres of UPND are escorted by the police to assault their rivals, to disrupt their rivals' campaigns. And the president goes out and has the bravery to actually tell the Zambian people that these are the most peaceful elections that we have ever had. That is a lie. The president should stop lying. Instead, he should address what is happening. In Luampa, shots were fired at us. The police have not told us what investigations they've done. We've got pictures clearly showing the perpetrators. And in that small community, they are easily identifiable, but the police are doing nothing. The police have not even gone and looked for the cartridges that were fired by those guns in order for them to be able to follow up in their investigations. They have not bothered. If they have, can the Minister of Home Affairs, President Hakainde, address the nation and tell us what they've done and what they'll do going forward? We, as the opposition, will have to defend ourselves if we are not defended by the state. At this point, let me allow my seniors to take it up.
Thank you very much, Professor. History of our democracy. It's a clear assault on democracy, which we have witnessed. In the morning, we paid a courtesy call on the chief, or rather, His Majesty the Litunga. Immediately after, there was a roadblock right at the entrance, or indeed the only way leading to the palace. The police were there conducting searches, after which we proceeded for our roadshow in Kalabo. Right in Kalabo, the police were there, and at any given interval, the police have attempted to block us. This is not new, as all of you may know. It has been happening from province to province, with only increasing intensity as we came to Northwestern Province. Now in Western Province, we wonder what awaits us in Southern Province. But all you know, if indeed President Hakainde Hichilema and the UPND think the Northwestern Province, the Western Province, and the Southern Province are their strongholds, then they should not use violence to deter people from getting there. It means that they have worked so well, such that the people of Northwestern Province, the people of Western Province, and the people of Southern Province believe in them so much, such that it is idiotic to use violence to deter the opposition from coming into these particular provinces. I say idiotic to mean lack of good judgment in this particular case. It is the message that is given to the people that causes them to believe in us, to believe in the leadership that is offered. If indeed the message that has been offered or given to the people of Northwestern Province, Western Province, and Southern Province is so believable that the people cannot be moved, you cannot use violence to stop them from listening to other ideas. In this particular case, the violence has been perpetrated by the cadres, identifying themselves as cadres, as well as the police, who in this case we are saying an extension of the cadres. ECZ gave us days, particular days to be in these provinces. We are in this particular province for 5 days. Our days are to end tomorrow. We are to be in any part of this province as we wish, so that we can disseminate the message that we have for the people as they'll be going to vote on the 13th of August. And will not be deterred by these interventions, by the police as well as the cadres. The people of Western Province have cried for a very long time for development. Western Province, or indeed Barotseland, is considered as the least developed country. And we need to investigate and ask ourselves a question: why is that so? Why have they gone at the bottom of the food chain? Why are they getting the least of that development? And we are here to be a panacea to that particular issue. We are here to say we are going to equitably distribute the resources of our country to ensure that the Barotseland is taken out of poverty. We are saying to the people of Western Province, or indeed Barotseland, that we have heard your cry and your plea for interventions in the livestock industry. We have heard your cry and your plea for interventions in the agricultural sector, and we are here to offer those particular answers. We will not be deterred by the actions of the police, and we will use this platform to tell the people of Western Province that we are here to ensure that we improve the agricultural sector. We are here to tell you the message that we are going to work towards improving the backbone infrastructure such as roads, so that we are able to connect provinces and able to connect districts. So farmers can move from place to place, or indeed traders can move from place to place and enjoy doing business in Barotseland, or indeed in Western Province, and enjoy interacting, or indeed the development that comes with the development of backbone infrastructure such as roads. We know that if people are able to move freely, people are able to trade freely, then there will be commerce will improve in this particular region. We know that if we improve veterinary services, if we put laboratories here, if we put facilities that ensure the well-being of the animals and are able to get rid of diseases such as foot and mouth disease, anthrax, contagious bovine pleuropneumonia, all these require interventions of a serious government. And that is the message that we have brought to the people of Western Province, to say we are here to work, and we are here to work for you, and we will be proceeding in that direction. However, it appears our message is very attractive, such as President Hakainde Hichilema and the UPND are afraid, because all they have told the people in these regions is that when you went to Lusaka, you were being beaten, therefore vote for me. He has no message whatsoever. He has no message whatsoever. We come with a message of unity. We come with a message of reconciliation. We come with a message that we need to change not just government, but also how we run government, as the president has been saying. And in so doing, we are saying we are going to change the constitution. We are going to have every Zambian participate in the changing of the constitution, so that what has happened today, no other president will ever do it. What has been happening in the last 4 years, 5 years, where there's been abuse of power, abuse of privilege, that should never happen. We need to fashion our constitution to be a constitution that puts development at the center. We need a human rights approach towards development, and that is what we're going to work on. We are going to work on the institutions of governance so that they are not abused by any person who assumes the office of president. We are going to work on the institutions of governance so that they are truly independent, not just in word alone, but in action, or indeed in the way that they operate. We need them to be independent so that we have a free society, a society where people will be able to express themselves freely, a society where people will be able to move freely, a society where democracy, which is a marketplace of ideas, will thrive. That is what we're looking forward to, and that is the Zambia that we offer. We have a credible team, like we have seen, and we are ready to govern. From our team, you can see that we are indeed ready to govern. Unlike the goons that move around with President Hakainde Hichilema, he is not ready to govern. He has failed to govern. And come next week, on the 13th of August, we urge everyone to go and vote. Let's say no to any plans to rig the election. Let's say no to those plans. As a matter of fact, if you can carry your own pen to go and vote, if you can carry your own pen, those that we're sending out to observe, ensure that each and every person is given one ballot paper for every position, and not what we hear is being planned where people will be given more than one for every person that is going to vote. Ensure that as you are voting, every procedure is followed. cross out the names in the register, ensure that every form of violence that is perpetrated in the ballot, in the polling stations, your attention should always be on the polling, on the ballot boxes, and ensure that they are not swapped in any way. Ensure that no one tampers with the ballot boxes, because you will be protecting your democracy. We will keep reminding you, we will keep talking to you, and we will keep strengthening you to say change is coming, because change is indeed here. And President Brian Mundubile is the carrier of that change. And let's all fully support him, even as we head towards this election. Thank you, Mr. President. Over to you.
Thank you very much, Vice President. Chair, thank you very much for that message. Countrymen and women, Zambia is a constitutional democracy. As a constitutional democracy, it's expected by leaders, from leaders, that they will run government in line with provisions of the Constitution, which respect the human rights, which respect representation of the people in this land. As they say, the greatness of a nation is judged from its fidelity to the Constitution. Clearly, ours is not a great nation. Zambia cannot be said today to be a great nation, because what we see are human rights abuses every single day. We've had a very bumpy ride in this campaign. As State Council said, the Minister of Home Affairs now is President Hakainde Hichilema. So the police brutality that you witnessed today is under the charge of President Hakainde Hichilema as Minister of Home Affairs and President at the same time. Countrymen and women, democracy demands that people choose their own leaders. In a democracy like ours, police brutality should be nowhere in this dispensation. And use of force is not only backward, but it's also a sign of desperation by a government that has failed to perform. And this is what we are seeing. What President Hakainde Hichilema and his teddy bear government does not want us to do, they do not want us to deliver a message of hope, to deliver a message of hope to the people of Barotse. We are very clear in our messaging. Wherever we've been able to project messages of hope for those particular areas. We are not sponsoring teddy bears to be dancing on the platform, joking around. We believe Zambia needs solutions. Zambia is in a very serious situation that does not need entertainment of teddy bears. Zambia needs solutions. Zambians do not need guns and bullets. They need solutions for the many problems that they are facing. Barotseland needs development and not snipers that have been sponsored to follow us around. We are aware, countrymen and women, the drama, the fanfare of tear gas was just a tip on the iceberg. There were people carrying live armor, snipers in that group. The question is, whom do they want to kill? Ask that question. It's unprecedented, has never happened before. If there was any wrongdoing on our part, one senior police officer should have approached us, approached the chairperson of the party, and inform us of our wrongdoing and agree on the way forward. We were in the middle of a rally, and the police just show up and begin to fire tear gas. But yet we knew that it was as a cover. They were trying to give space to the snipers to take down some individuals that they have chosen. But we have a message for President Hakainde Hichilema and his teddy bear government. We are not afraid. We are not afraid. We are standing here firmly to defend the Zambian people. Ours is to defend the Zambian people. We put our lives on the line. We have put our lives on the line for the sake of the Zambian people, and we're going to stand firm. We are not withdrawing from this campaign. We are proceeding with our campaigns to deliver messages of hope to the Zambian people, because that's what they need. Yes. So to our dear snipers and your teddy bear government, be assured that we are ready to fight to the hilt until we deliver this nation.
Yes.
This nation needs solutions.
Yes.
It does not need guns and bullets, as it were. So the people of Barotse need to hear us. They need to hear our message. I do not think there's anything fundamentally wrong that the people of Barotse have done not to be allowed to listen to alternative voices. Why is it that President Hakainde Hichilema and the state bear government does not want us to talk to the people of Barotse? They frustrated our efforts in Kalau. They tried to frustrate our efforts in Kaoma. They participated in the violence that happened yesterday at Luanda. Police officers with 2 Land Cruisers, with UPND cadres carrying stones, having blocked the road. And the police could have acted much earlier, even before we arrived. But they were there, agreeing on how to proceed. And in the end, they hatched a plan to want to pick our security personnel one by one, thereby exposing us, the leaders. They believe that the security people have been covering us. They need to expose us. They need to have access to us. They've got snipers with them. They are unable to go through our security detail. So they want to accuse them of fictitious charges so that we are totally exposed. The message that we have for President Hakainde Hichilema and his teddy bear government is that the will of the Zambian people will prevail. What prevailed in Kaoma was the will of the Zambian people. What prevailed in Luampa was the will of the Zambian people. What prevailed in Kalabo was the will of the Zambian people. In Chingola, in Chililabombwe, in Chambishi, in Kitwe, wherever we've been, it's the will of the Zambian people. And this should be a timely warning that the Zambians are not going to take anything less. For those of our brothers and sisters that are being coerced into participating in the rigging of this election, the Zambian people have shown some rare character and courage. This time around, they are ready to stand and fight. Others are asking countrymen and women. The question is, they are wondering, for how long should we wait, sit back and wait and be brutalized by UPND cadres putting on police uniform? They ask, is it wrong for us now to mobilize ourselves and defend ourselves against this brutality? Because there's no police that is going to defend us. The police are actually participating in this brutality. Zambians are asking. These are the questions I'm from answering outside. The people are saying, why is it wrong for us now to mobilize ourselves and defend ourselves? That's a question that only you, the Zambian people, can answer. Now, to the people of Barotse, there are a number of things the UPND government, the teddy bear government, is uncomfortable with. They know that we're going to tell them that whilst Barotseland is ranked as the poorest province in Zambia, Barotse has no infrastructure. There's no road infrastructure. There is no school infrastructure. There is no health infrastructure. There is no communication infrastructure. There is no electricity infrastructure. Whilst there are all these deficiencies, there are cases of corruption involving our leaders today. They do not want us to tell you that there's been $10.5 billion in illicit financial flows leaving this country under the government of President Hakainde Hichilema and teddy bears. They do not want us to tell you that whilst this province is going through all these challenges, there are huge amounts of money that have been paid to them by the mining houses that earlier enjoyed concessions. The money individuals are collecting from these mines are enough to build water infrastructure, to build a brand new referral hospital here in Mongo, because Lewanika Hospital is old and needs replacement. The money these individuals are accessing from mining houses is enough to work on the roads in this particular province. So they do not want us to expose the corruption that is going on. Whilst children in Limulunga, children in Skongo are going hungry, a few individuals in the UPND were collecting milling from Ego milling and selling in Congo worth hundreds of millions of kwacha without paying for it. Whilst youths were being shot at in Chingola and Chilabombwe for smuggling 2 bags of milling, 13 to 20 individuals, each collected millimil worth over 100 million kwacha. So then you'd wonder, a youth fighting for survival with 4 bags of millimil in a taxi is shot dead. They themselves, under the cover of darkness, are exporting millimil in millions of kwacha. So the people of Barotse, this message of corruption, where billions of kwacha, billions of dollars, have been siphoned from this country, leaving provinces like Barotseland poor. It's these messages that are making President Hakainde Hichilema and his Teddy Bear government uncomfortable. But we want to mention that we are coming in to make changes that will distribute economic benefits across the provinces, focusing on the provinces that are behind. So, the people of Barotse, today's rally was supposed to be focused on a number of things that I would want to summarize so that the people of Mongu, the people of Kalabo, the people of Luampa, Lui, Nalwei, do not lose out completely. Under our government, we promise to change, not only to change government, but also to change how government works. And the starting point will be amendments to the Constitution. We'll ensure that some of the things we are seeing now do not ever happen again. We'll see to it that even when it comes to our public officers like the police, they should be personally liable to some of their actions. For instance, the chairperson of the Alliance was making reference to families that are suffering right now because of the tear gas that was fired at them from irresponsible officers or cadres. Surely, there must be some accountability. Officers should be responsible to account for some of these actions. So the reforms that we'll bring will start by professionalizing the civil service. We'll depoliticize the civil service. We'll embark on a merit-based recruitment approach so that we get the best individuals to work in public service, including the police. Under our government, you will not find police wearing masks, hiding their identities. We will ensure that we pick the best, reform the systems so that there's transparency in the operations. Our promise to the Zambian people, the brutality we witnessed today whilst we're having our rally, the brutality we witnessed in Kalao, and the brutality we witnessed on the Copper Belt will be buried and should be buried in the next 7 days. That should remain with the President Hakainde Hichilema and his Teddy Bear government. Going forward, we want to run government in a serious manner. A government is not a farm or kantemba to be run in the manner President Hakainde Hichilema has been trying to run this government. Even to our brothers and sisters in the police, one would expect that certain instructions you simply do not follow. Do not follow unlawful instructions. Yeah. Honestly speaking, a trained police officer would not come to a rally like that. A rally that's been lawfully and legally held and begin to fire tear gas to disperse a legally assembled crowd, injuring hundreds of mothers. We witnessed with Vice President. There's a lady with the child on the back who fell over. I don't know what condition she's in right now. So the promise that we make to the Zambian people is that the reforms that we make will change how government works. And surely Zambians should have confidence in the government that we will put up, because we want to give back and restore your rights, restore the unity. As the Vice President earlier pointed out, ours will be to have development that is based on human rights, or human rights-based approach to development, as it were. So the many things that are making President Hakainde Hichilema uncomfortable are that we are now able to speak to Zambians so that they can compare the messages that are coming from his government, messages of hate, messages of violence. Ours is a message of hope, because we think every Zambian needs that in particular hope. So the poverty levels in Barotseland are unprecedented. We've had time to look at the causes for these high poverty levels and identify education, livestock, health, poor infrastructure to be the main causes of these poverty levels in the province. Our promise to the people of Western Province is that we will first start by working on backbone infrastructure. This backbone infrastructure will include roads. For instance, some of the roads that have been identified would be Kalabo-Sikongo Road right into Angola to open up trade lines between Zambia and Angola. There's a lot of activity in agricultural sector within this country, and the products could easily find their way into Angola once these roads have been worked on. We have the Kaoma-Ikasempa Road, we have the Ikasempa to Mumbwa, we have the Luampa-Simungoma Road, among others. So the starting point is to work on backbone infrastructure. Secondly, we want to work on communication infrastructure, because these are key to attracting investment in the region. We also look at, for instance, social services. We promise the people of Mongo that when you vote us into power, we immediately look at constructing a brand new referral hospital that will complement and supplement the Lewanika Referral Hospital. That hospital is over 100 years old, and surely there is need for a new hospital owing to the growing population in this particular area. We also need to look at mini hospitals, not only in Mongo, but even in the surrounding districts. And further, we also build additional district hospitals in addition to health posts, as it were. So in the area of healthcare, we think that the province is lagging behind. We've taken an audit and realized that the hospitals that are existing are in far distances, and most of our citizens in Barotseland are unable to access these medical facilities. And chief among those people who have suffered the most in this particular sector are our expecting mothers. So we want to pay specific attention to maternal health and make one promise that no mother, will die, when giving birth, because we've attended to maternal health by bringing close health facilities close to these mothers, close to Nakulumutinta, Nemisepela, Pamakasa, as it were. In the area of education, many of us that have been around for some time would know that the education standards in Barotse have been very high since independence, because there was a fund, for scholarships and so on, and many people were motivated and encouraged to study more. And the standards starting from primary, secondary, up to tertiary level were very, very high indeed. Today, the performance of our pupils, our learners in Barotseland are at the lowest. Surely there must be something wrong. We've gone further to interrogate what the causes could be. We discovered that, one, under free education, there are too many pupils in a classroom. One teacher is taking up to between 150 and 200 learners. So this is very, very difficult. It's very difficult to deliver quality education when you have that number of pupils in one class. We therefore commit ourselves to reducing the teacher-pupil ratio from 1 to 150 to 1 to 45 and 50 maximum. This is recommended by experts, and we believe that we can begin to raise the standards in education yet again. Further, we commit to building more boarding schools. Here in Barotseland, we have discovered that there's limited space for boarding schools. Most of our pupils go for what they call weekly boarding in private facilities and without guardians. As a result of that, there's been less concentration, and in many cases, we've had cases of teenage pregnancies, as it were. So we commit to building more schools, more boarding schools, so that our pupils, and indeed the girl child, is able to learn and focus on their education comfortably going forward. So among the messages that we bring to the people of Barotse, we are talking about education and health. In the area of livestock, many are aware that this should actually be the mainstay for the people of Barotse, because this comes as heritage. keeping of animals is something that our brothers and sisters here know very well. But for the past 30 years, there's been a ban on the movement of livestock from Western Province to other provinces. As a result of this, it has dwarfed business prospects in this particular sector. This will be our starting point. We've interrogated and looked at possible solutions, and some of the solutions that we bring to the table for the people of Barotse. We will undertake a 3-year program of vaccination across Barotseland to ensure that we tackle diseases like CBPP, anthrax, and FMD, being the major diseases that the animals in Barotseland are suffering from. We believe that at the end of 3 years, we should comfortably combat these diseases and be able to lift the ban on livestock movements. This measure alone will improve household income to many people within Barotse. But we'll go further. We'll go further by constructing modern regional labs in Barotseland and other veterinary services at district level to help grow the animal population within Barotseland. We know that as an economic activity, this particular sector, livestock, can employ many people and reduce household poverty, as it were. Many youths are looking forward to solutions that will help them, going forward. Apart from livestock, we identify a belt we call the mango belt. Barotseland has got over 1 million trees of mangoes, and most of these mangoes just go to waste. We have decided that under our industrialization program, the mango processing plant will be one of the first projects that will undertake in Barotse, so that it can make use of the raw material mangoes that are all over the province, as it were. Yeah, we are looking at other industries, for instance, rice growing and processing, among others. So the focus will be on mango processing and indeed rice processing, among others. Of course, the Vice President is just reminding me that under agriculture, we're also looking at cashew. We already have cashew nuts and farmers that are growing cashew nuts, but we realize that the past 5 years, there's been no attention to these farmers. Immediately we come into government, we want to look at cashew nut farming, so that we do not only help the farmers in growing the cashew, but we also introduce factories and industries that will value add, thereby creating employment for our youths. So countrymen and women, for Barotse, like many other parts of the country, we believe that we have to fight poverty. And in order to fight poverty, we must create employment. In order to create employment, we need to industrialize. And in order to industrialize, we have to invest. Our investment starts with backward infrastructure, going down to the industries, some of the examples that I've just given here today. Countrymen and women, we also brought a message to the people of Barotse that under our free education, books will be distributed free of charge to all the pupils in classrooms. That is not all. Even uniforms will be given to pupils free of charge. So nobody should go around giving false information regarding our position on free education. Free education will continue. We will improve this free education. Ours is not only free education, but free and quality education. It's quality education, one, because we'll reduce the pupil-teacher ratio. It's quality education, two, because we'll provide free books, and we'll also provide free uniforms. We will go further. We'll ensure that the teachers who are teaching our pupils in these free education schools are also looked at. Their welfare should also be considered. Today, we have very few teachers taking up their post in the rural areas. One, because of hardships. Two, because of poor infrastructure. So when we improve road infrastructure, including feeder roads, we encourage teachers to be able to take up positions in far-flung areas. And secondly, we work on the housing infrastructure for teachers, so that as we project free and quality education, we also look at the welfare of those that are going to provide that particular service. So our teachers should be assured that communication infrastructure is not only for investors, but also to assist our young professionals to go and teach in far-flung areas. The feeder roads that we are talking about will also encourage our teachers to go and teach in far-flung areas as it were. The same applies to nurses, doctors, and so on. So the benefit of the infrastructure in Barotse will not only go to promote investments, but also improve our education standards. Because teachers then will be able to go to rural areas and teach, because they can drive out of that area and come to Mongu whenever they want to, because there's a good road. They can use their internet anytime they want to, because there's good communication as it were. On social cash transfer, the people of Barotse, we brought a message that there is one gentleman who's been traversing the country with a huge teddy bear. He's been misleading Zambians that Mundubile and Makebi, when they come into power, they will cancel social cash transfer. Please ignore that message. Ignore that message. That message did not come from us. Our message is that we will maintain social cash transfer. And our social cash transfer will now be increased from the current 800 kwacha to 1,200. So we'll continue providing social protection to the vulnerable families going forward. Of course, our target in the foreseeable future would be that we'll create enough jobs to reduce poverty at household level. But in the meantime, we'll ensure that we provide for the social protection, including a social cash transfer, as it were. Yeah, so I just thought it was very important for the people of Barotse not to lose out completely because of some excited cadres putting on police uniforms, running up and down, carrying snipers behind them, looking for innocent lives. We still felt we should deliver the message to the people of Barotse. So to you, the people of Barotse, I should take this opportunity to thank the people of Barotse most sincerely for the warm welcome. We were well received at Nkeyema yesterday. We went into Kaoma, we were overwhelmed with the reception that we got. Even at Baton, after the fracas at Luampa, we still found people who were eager to shake hands with us, to see us and receive us. When we were coming into Mongu, at Mandanga, and at Louis, we found people in their thousands waiting for us. We want to thank the people of Barotse for this warm reception. I know that my brothers, this teddy bear movement, are very uncomfortable with this reception, but we want to thank the people of Barotse for the warm reception, and promise that we will exhaust our days, our last days tomorrow. We'll go into Sesheke, to talk to the people of Sesheke about the various challenges they are facing. And of course, we expect more police brutality, but like we've said, for as long as we don't remove our fear, we will not cross the river. To every Zambian today, I want to encourage you, remove your fear today. If we continue to cower, if we continue to run whenever they come with the tear gas, it's the same formula they want to use on voting day. Yeah. They are using it as a trial. They are doing it as a rehearsal. But we want to encourage you as your leaders that yes, even when we are aware that they've got snipers, they've got 6 snipers that they came with at the rally, we are still able to stand. We will stand and fight back to liberate this country. We want unity, we want order, we want national renewal, a reset of Zambia that every Zambian should look forward to. So therefore, countrymen and women, I want to encourage all of you. Put on your jacket of courage and stand to defend your country. Thank you very much, countrymen and women.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Are there any questions?
I have a question, Your Excellency.
Yes, please.
This morning, we received some disturbing alleged news that some named National Youth Chair has deployed 10 buses to come and cause mayhem on the Brian Mundubile entourage. Your comment, Your Excellency.
The information is very accurate. The people that came to the rally are all UPND cadres. They just put on their uniforms and started shooting. So that information is very accurate. We have that information, we've confirmed it, they're all UPND cadres. The people that followed us to Kalabo are all UPND cadres. To start with, they searched our vehicles at Limulunga. What sense did it make for them to follow us to Kalabo to want to search the same vehicles that they were searching earlier? So these are UPND cadres and putting on police uniforms. We want every Zambian to be on the lookout. Procedurally, you should be able to see the faces of these police officers. They should have their name and man number displayed on their uniforms. Those that are hiding in masks are cadres, they're criminals. Those are criminals, snatching people's phones and doing all manner of activities. So Zambians just be on the lookout. For instance, at Luampa, there was one gentleman who was not putting on red. He was in some denim shorts. That's the council police from Luampa, okay? Participating in the stoning. He's actually the one who stoned the other police officer. That's why they can't arrest him. He stoned a fellow police officer in the process, and they can't arrest him. So you are correct, my lady. Those criminals are in Barotseland. They have been given police uniforms. They want to move around. So to all the youths, just be on the lookout. Some of these people in police uniform are actually cadres that arrived this afternoon from Lusaka.
There's a question?
Yeah, thank you so much, Mr. President. There are concerns in the northwestern province. There are places that we did not visit, the Zambezi region and some other parts of the country. What could have led the party not to visit the other parts of northwestern and indeed some parts of western province? What message do you have for them? Thank you.
Well, firstly, when you look at the ECZ timetable, they only give us 5 days in each province. You're also aware that we were not given a landing and flying rights. President Hakainde Hichilema, the Teddy Bear government, made sure that we had no access to those permits. So we've been traversing this country by road. So in Northwestern Province, we had several attacks. They deployed cadres just like they've deployed in Western Province. We were attacked on several occasions. Of course, we didn't want to make that very prominent. We still went ahead to exhaust our days in Northwestern Province. And remember, we were to connect from Kasempa into Kaoma so that we start Western Province on Sunday. We were unable to do that because, again, the powers that be is sent 3 million kwacha. We have that information to their cadres in Northwestern Province and asked them to mobilize along the Kasempa-Kaoma road. So we felt it was dangerous to use that road, and obviously it took us 2 days to come around, and we only got started yesterday. So to the parts of Northwestern Province that we never visited, we have deployed teams of our leaders that are going to see the traditional leaders and indeed holding rallies in those particular areas. Our people there got the message. They knew that we wanted to go, for instance, to Manyinga. We wanted to go to Kabompo, but because of these attacks from cadres, we are unable to go to some of these parts. We could not reach Zambezi because there was a major traditional ceremony, Kumbi Liamize, and obviously our friends sent their cadres to Zambezi to go and wait for us. So for the respect of our customs and traditions, we did not want that particular ceremony to be disrupted on account of our campaigns. That's why we did not visit Zambezi. For Western Province, of course, for the reasons I've given, the time is really tight. We'll see how far we can go, how many more districts we can visit. But of course, we've got the local leadership and other members of Tonse that may not be affected by that timetable to visit these other places. We are hoping that, we were hoping to deliver the message for the province on that platform today so that we remain merely with roadshows to interact with our people. But like I said, this corrupt government does not want us to tell the people of Barotse about the $10 billion they've been sending out of the country, about the millennium they've been exporting to Congo within the same political party. They did not want us to give the reasons why Barotse is poor at the expense of corrupt activities under the UPND. So we want to say we love the people of Barotse. We've been well received. Running mate and I were overwhelmed when we went to Kalabo. Yeah, so we will try by all means to reach these areas by radio, TV, so that they get the message. But our encouragement is simple. We are left with only 7 days. Zambians, would you want to continue with a government that would kill a youth for carrying 2 bags of millet and later themselves export the same millennium worth hundreds of millions of kwacha and not even pay for it? Would you want to continue with a government that will brutalize innocent mothers? Nakulumutintane Misepela merely standing to listen to a message of hope, and she's shot at. She can't run in the sun, she falls and injures her children. You want to bring back this brutal government? A government that has deployed cadres right through the country. They failed to pay farmers for their produce, but they've got enough money to deploy those police trucks. They've got money to buy cadres, candidates. They are offering as much as 20 million kwacha for a parliamentary candidate withdrawing, 10 million kwacha for mayoral position, and 5 million kwacha for councillors. And yet farmers will go for 7 months without being paid. So Zambia, do you want to continue in such a government? No. Would you want to continue in such a government? No. If they can do that today, they want to shoot people in broad daylight. They fire tear gas, they position snipers to begin to shoot at people, and you want to maintain them in government? No. How much more would you want to see before you remove them? It's a question to the Zambian people. So the choice is yours. But I want to encourage the Zambian people that even as we worry about water protection, please, let's turn out in numbers. Let's turn out in numbers and vote. And definitely change is on its way. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much, colleagues. Mr. President, thank you so much.
We are done.
Okay.
And the police outside.